Hey there, this is Mehdi from StrongLifts.com, and in this video you're gonna see me doing the full StrongLifts 5x5 workout B. StrongLifts 5x5, which is the simplest and most powerful workout to gain strength and muscle while burning fat without using drugs or steroids and training only 3 times a week. I'm also gonna show you how to do the squat, the overhead press and the deadlift with proper form so you gain strength and muscle without getting injured. And I'm gonna answer common questions about the StrongLifts 5x5 workout B so you get maximum results with this training program. Now remember that StrongLifts 5x5, it consists of 2 workouts A and B. Between you alternate every time you go to the gym. This video here, it demonstrates the workout B where you do the squat, the overhead press and the deadlift. I've already created a video of the StrongLifts 5x5 workout A. If you haven't seen it yet, just click the link here in the top right corner and you'll get on the video of StrongLifts 5x5 workout A, which again consists of the squat, the bench press and the barbell row. So to see that video, just click here the link, the video here in the top right corner. Okay, so I did here just like with the previous video of StrongLifts 5x5 workout A, which is I went to my home gym and I did the full StrongLifts 5x5 workout B using the exact same weights that you'll be lifting in week 6 if you start with the empty bar in week 1, as I recommend you to do. If you want to see me lift heavier weights, click the video here in the top right corner to see me deadlift 451 pounds, which is like 2.7 times my body weight. And there are more videos on the Strongest YouTube channel where you can see me squat over 400 pounds if you want to see what I'm capable of. The point of this video here is not to show off with heavy weight, it's just to demonstrate how to do the StrongLifts 5x5 workout B correctly. Again, using the exact same weights you'll be lifting in week 6 if you start with the empty bar. You want to see me lifting heavier weights, click on the video here in the top right corner instead. And by the way, I didn't edit this video here because I wanted you to see what I do between sets, how much rest I take, and also how long this workout actually takes. So it's really the complete StrongLifts 5x5 workout that you're gonna see here, not edited or anything. So the StrongLifts 5x5 workout B, it starts with a squat just like the workout A does. In fact, you're squatting every workout 3 times a week with StrongLifts 5x5, and the reason for this is that the squat is the most important exercise that you could ever do to gain strength and muscle. And yeah, this is because the squat, I mean, unlike what bodybuilders say, who usually do the squat on their leg day, I mean, the squat works your legs because that's what's moving when you do a squat. But there's a lot of other muscles that work. It really works your whole body when you do like a heavy squat, and that's why it's so important for gaining strength and for gaining muscle. All the big names in bodybuilding, from Arnold Schwarzenegger, for example, to Ronnie Coleman, I mean, they were all doing heavy squats, and that's why they were also successful. You gotta squat too. It's the best exercise to gain strength and muscle because it works everything. And because it's so important, well, you're squatting every workout on StrongLifts 5x5 and you're always doing it as first exercise. Why as first exercise? Because most guys, they hate a squat. They want to skip their squats. If you do the squat at the end of your workout where you're already tired from doing a bunch of other exercises, it's much easier to skip on this exercise because you already hate it. So to prevent all of this, you do the most important exercise, not only every workout but also as first exercise. This way it's I mean, you get a lot of more strength and willpower and everything in the beginning of your workout and at the end of your workout when you're already tired. And so for this reason it makes a lot more sense that you do the squat as first exercise, that you prioritize it. This way it's much harder to skip on it. So my point here is always do the squat first. StrongLifts 5x5, it starts with the squat. If the power rack is taken, just ask the guy if you can train in between. I've trained like 5 years in a commercial gym before I had my home gym, and people were always fine with this. I never really had somebody being annoyed with this. People are fine with it, especially if you help loading and unloading the weight. They're not gonna have any problems if you train in between. So just ask it. Don't start like switching the program by doing the overhead press first or the deadlift first and then the squat at the end. It's too easy to start like skipping on the squat, and the squat is the most important exercise. In the meanwhile, I've already squatted 135 pounds for 5 reps. 135 pounds, which is again the weight that you'll be squatting for 5x5 if you start with the empty bar in week 1, as I recommend you to do. And if you paid attention, you should have noticed that I didn't start with 135 pounds immediately. Instead, I warmed up, and the way I did it is I started with 2 sets of 5 with the empty bar. Then I added weight and did 3 reps with 90 pounds, and then only I went to the 135 pounds. So that's what I recommend you to do. Never jump straight into your 5x5 work weight, because that doesn't give you any chance at all to practice proper form, and that's how your work weight will feel a lot heavier as a result. I mean, worse, you could actually get injured because your muscles never got a chance to warm up if you just started immediately with 135 pounds for 5x5. So always start with the empty bar for 2 sets of 5, then add 25 pounds on the bar and do 3 reps, 25 pounds on each side of the bar, of course, and you do 3 reps, and you keep adding weight until you get your 5x5 work weight. I always do that. Even when I'm squatting 400 pounds, I will start with the empty bar and I will add weight like this until I reach my work weight. And I gotta say, in like 13 years of squatting, I've never pulled a muscle, and I believe it is because I've always warmed up like this. 2 things I want to add. First of all, here you can see that I'm waiting between the sets. I'm taking about a minute rest between sets. But if you go back and look at what I was doing during the warm-up, I wasn't taking any rest there. And the reason for that is that the weight was too easy to, I mean the warm-up weight, it's too light to require rest between sets. The whole point of resting between sets is to make sure that you get your next set and everything. On a warm-up set, it's just too light, so you don't need to rest in between. And by not resting, I feel like getting a better warm-up by not taking any rest. And it also cuts down your workout time, so it prevents your workout time to get too long. Because I mean, a lot of the times guys say, yeah, I don't want to warm up because it's taking too much time. That's actually bullshit. I mean, go back and you'll see that it took like 3 minutes to get from the empty bar to the 135 pounds. I mean, you get 3 minutes, and the total workout doesn't even take like half an hour here. So remember this trick. On the warm-up sets, you don't take any rest between sets. On your actual 5x5 weight, there you can rest between sets. And the second thing I want to say about this is, don't waste your time with cardio pre-workout. That is just gonna make you tired, and it won't give you the opportunity to practice proper form either. Remember that the goal of the warm-up is to practice proper form, so the work weight feels easier. And cardio pre-workout, yeah, that's gonna warm you up, but you're not practicing proper form. And if you like spend too much time on a treadmill or whatever, you're just gonna get tired for your squats. So it's actually gonna get in the way of getting stronger. So keep it simple. Start with the empty bar, add weight, and till you reach your work weight. Make sure that you're doing parallel squats with your hips going lower than your knees on every rep. Don't do those quarter squats that you see most guys doing in the gym, and don't listen to the gym morons saying that hitting parallel is bad for your knees either, because it's actually the opposite. Quarter squats are bad for your knees because they cause muscle imbalances. Parallel squats, they're good for your knees because they strengthen the muscles surrounding your knees, and they're actually like adding stability by doing that. So parallel squats are better for your knees, and they're also gonna lead to more strength and muscle development because you're using a full range of motion. For more information about what parallel squats actually mean and how to squat with proper form, I already created a video about this, and you can watch it by clicking here the top right corner. But the point is that your hips always must go below parallel when looking from the side. You don't need to go rock bottom or ass to grass, as some guys call it. Just hitting parallel with your hips going lower than your knees is fine. Quickly on rest time, you can see here I'm resting 1 minute between sets. On the warm-up sets, I didn't take any rest at all. Here, 1 minute, just enough for my heart rate to go back to normal. I'm just taking 1 minute because the weight is light for me, but if the weight had been like harder, then I would have taken like 3 to maybe up to 5 minutes if it's really hard. The idea of the rest time is just to give your body like a little bit of recovery before your next set, so you're sure that you make it. The general rule is when the weights are still light, so during the first week you take 1 minute between sets. When the weights get heavier, you take 3 minutes up to 5 minutes. I recommend you to get the StrongLifts 5x5 app, by the way, because that will show you how much rest to take between your sets. It has a built-in timer. Yeah, that's it for the squats. I don't feel like saying more. Watch the video of StrongLifts 5x5 workout A, because there I talk about how to breathe and how fast to lift and everything on the squats. I don't feel like saying it again here. I've already said it in the last video. So the next exercise is the overhead press. Quick reminder of how StrongLifts 5x5 works. So StrongLifts 5x5 consists of 2 workouts, A and B. Both workouts you're always doing the squat first because it's the most important exercise. But then workout E follows with the bench press, and workout B, there you do the overhead press after the squat. And you're basically alternating like this every time you go to the gym. So you're going 3 times to the gym, alternating between the bench press and the overhead press. For example, if you train like most guys, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, then on Monday you do squat bench, on Wednesday you do squat overhead press, Friday it's back to squat bench, the Monday afterwards squat overhead press, Wednesday squat bench again, Friday squat overhead press, and you keep alternating like this. I found the overhead press to be one of the best exercises to build big shoulders and triceps, and this is because those are the muscles which are responsible for moving that weight overhead. Remember what I said in one of the other videos. More strength is more muscle. The stronger you get, the more muscular you're gonna be. In the case of the overhead press, the more weight you're able to press overhead, the bigger that your shoulders and your triceps, which are pressing that weight overhead, the more muscular that those muscles are going to become. And I've also found the overhead press to be a really good exercise to build six-pack abs, and that's because those muscles have to work hard to keep you from collapsing under the weight when you're like pressing that weight overhead. So your abs are supporting your torso from the front and are preventing you to collapse under the weight. I didn't, like, 2 things you should have noticed here. First of all, I didn't take any rest after the squats before starting the overhead press. It was immediately like squats done, I got started with the overhead press. You should be doing the same thing. The weight is light anyway now because you're starting with the warm up anyway, so you can immediately jump into it without resting in between. And so talking about the warm up sets, that's the second thing I wanted to point out, is that here too, week 6 you're supposed to do 90 pounds for 5x5 on the overhead press. I didn't start straight with the 90 pounds here. What I did is I started with the empty bar first. Empty bar, 2 sets of 5 to warm up, to make the work weight easier, the 5x5 weight easier, because you can practice form first and also to avoid injuries. So don't take any rest after the squat. Immediately start with the overhead press, and then make sure that you warm up by starting with 2 sets of 5 with the empty bar. Okay, so let's talk about how to overhead press with proper form now, so you get bigger shoulders and triceps without injuring your lower back. First thing to pay attention to, this is really a big mistake that a lot of guys do, is make sure that your knees remain locked from start to finish. You cannot dip through your knees. Dipping through your knees, that's called the push press. And the push press is a different exercise than the overhead press. Now usually what happens is, the first week guys will do the overhead press correctly with their knees that remain locked, but then after a couple of weeks the weight starts getting more challenging, and then the temptation becomes bigger and bigger to eventually start to dip through their knees to get the bar moving. So that's called the push press, and it's a different exercise than the overhead press. And I mean, you can be doing a push press instead of an overhead press, and the reason for this is that the push press, because you're using your legs it's basically taking work away from your shoulders. So your shoulders are no longer doing most of the work in the bottom position. It's your legs that doing most of that work to get the bar moving. And so you're never gonna get the same kind of shoulder development from doing a push press as with doing an overhead press. Because again, on a push press, your legs are doing most of that work to get the bar moving. The second thing is that push press is just a short-term solution in that, yes, if you are struggling with your overhead press and now you start doing a push press, dipping through your knees to get the bar moving, yeah, the weight is gonna suddenly feel easier. But the problem is, after a couple of weeks, you're gonna get stuck again because the weight is gonna increase and now you're doing a push press and you're gonna have a hard time to get the bar moving as well. What are you gonna do next? Now you're still stuck and you're gonna have to deload and everything. So it's a short-term fix that eventually is gonna lead to the exact same problem. If you can't get the bar moving, you gotta deload. I mean, that's it is. Like, try again 3 times. If it doesn't work, you gotta deload. You can't be doing like a different exercise just because you're getting stuck with this exercise. It's the same thing as if you would do, like, you're doing squats and the squat weight gets harder, and now suddenly you start doing like quarter squats or half squats. I mean, you wouldn't be doing that either. You keep your technique the same. Same idea here. Make sure that you're doing the overhead press always with your knees remaining locked from start to finish. Don't start doing a push press. I received a lot of questions about how to protect your lower back from injuries when you overhead press. And the simple trick there is really to squeeze your glutes as hard as you can. Because a lot of lower back injuries on the overhead press, they are caused because the guy is hyperextending his lower back, so he's allowing his lower back to arc too much. And the easiest way to prevent this is to squeeze your glutes as hard as you can. So when you press the weight up, when you get into the starting position to press the weight up, start squeezing your glute as hard as you can. Push your belly out as well, and all of this will prevent your lower back to arc too much. When you do this, the only thing that you have to pay attention to then is to make sure that you're getting under the bar. You can see here how each time I press the weight up, I'm getting under the bar by shifting my torso forward. Don't stay back with your torso, because if you stay back and press from that position, that this can aggravate the arcing of your lower back. So lower back injuries on the overhead press, either it's technique or, well, it's all technique actually. It's failure to squeezing the glutes properly and to push your belly out. So you gotta do those two things, and then you gotta actually shift your torso forward. You can stay back, but you have to shift your torso forward once the bar has reached your forehead level. If you do these 3 things, squeezing glutes, push your belly out, and shift your torso forward, your lower back will remain safe. By the way, if you don't know what that means, your glutes, because sometimes I get questions about this, your glutes is actually your butt, like your butt cheeks. So you've got to squeeze your butt cheeks together. That's what I mean with squeezing your glutes. Another question I get a lot is what to do if your ceiling is too low to overhead press. So some guys, they live, for example, in their basement or some sort, and they can do the overhead press standing because otherwise it hits the ceiling. Yeah, in that case, there's 2 solutions. The first solution, which is the solution that I like best, is that you just take your bar and your weights and you go press outside. I mean, that's the easiest thing. So you just get outside and you press there. If for whatever reason that doesn't work, then yes, you can do the seated overhead press instead. So you can do the overhead press while just like sitting on a bench. The only problem with, well, there's 2 problems with that. The first of all is that you're not going to get the same kind of ab development from doing a seated press. Standing is much better for building 6-packs. And the second thing is that what I just said of protecting your lower back by squeezing your glutes and everything, very hard thing to squeeze your glutes when you're sitting, and it's a lot easier to tweak your lower back on a seated press than on a standing overhead press. So my preference is that you just get outside and press there. If that doesn't work, yeah, do the seated overhead press, but make sure that you push your abs out and that you keep your lower back neutral. Watch out with hyperextending your lower back there, because it's very easy to tweak your lower back on the seated overhead press. So my preference is to do the standing version. And the last thing is, like I've also had like lots of questions from guys asking what should they be, if it's better to clean the bar from the floor or press from the rack. I press from the rack, as you can see here. I prefer it that way because it's easier to grip the bar correctly and you're not losing strength from cleaning the bar first. In the past, I didn't had the outside uprights and I was actually cleaning the bar from the floor because you can also see that my rack is too short, so if I cannot press inside the power rack, otherwise the bar would hit the top of the power rack. So I used to clean the bar from the floor. At one point I just switched to pressing from the rack because I felt that cleaning from the floor, it was limiting me by yeah, you're losing strength by doing a clean, especially when the weights get heavier. So yeah, my preference is that you press from the rack, just as I'm doing here. And that's it for the overhead press. Next exercise is the deadlift. The deadlift also works your whole body, so it's similar to the squat in that it works your whole body. It works especially your hamstrings and your glutes, your posterior chain, your lower back, your upper back. It's a really good exercise to build a thick, strong upper back. Traps, strong grip, forearms, all of that gets worked with the deadlift. What's also good about the deadlift is that it teaches you how to pick up something from the floor correctly. A lot of guys hurt their lower back picking up something at work with bad form, like not squatting through their legs and everything. A deadlift teaches you this. So if you can deadlift with correct technique without hurting your lower back, you're also going to be able to pick up stuff at work and whatever without hurting your lower back there. Big difference here on the deadlift, as you can see, is that I immediately started with 135 pounds for 5 reps. I did not do sets with an empty bar first, so that's a difference with all the other exercises. Why no empty bar sets? Well, simplest reason is really that you cannot do a deadlift without weight on the bar. The correct position to start the deadlift, it is with the bar that is about at mid chin level. You can't do that unless there are plates on the bar, otherwise the bar would have to float in the air, so you can't do it. So that's why I'm starting here with weight. The second reason why you can start with weight is that your legs are already warmed up now, your legs, your lower back and everything, it's already warmed up from doing the squats. Because of that, it's okay to start now a little bit heavier. I'm always starting with 135 pounds. Remember, these are the weights from week 6. In week 6, this is now 5 reps with 175 pounds. That's the work weight that I'm now going to be lifting. If you're just starting StrongLifts 5x5 in week 1, of course you're lifting only 90 pounds there. What should you do instead? Well, you're lifting 90 pounds and you put like 2 plates flat on the floor to get the bar at mid chin level. So that's how you get the proper position there. Second difference with the deadlift is that it's only one set of 5 reps. So there is no 5 sets of 5 here. It's not like the squats, not like the bench, not like barbell row, not like overhead press. Here you're only doing one set of 5. Why only one set of 5? Because you're only doing 5 sets of 5 already on the squats. You can't be doing another 5 sets of 5 on the deadlifts because that would be just too much. You would start hitting plateaus and everything. So for that reason, one set of 5 and you're done. Frankly, the first weeks you can get away with doing more than one set of 5 on a deadlift when the weights are still light, but you're not gonna get away with this if you keep doing it. There's always like a guy somewhere who decides he's gonna do 5x5 deadlifts also, and quickly he realizes that he starts hitting plateau everywhere because he thought he knew better. So don't be that guy, stick to the program. It's one set of 5 only. If you want to get more sets, well, just do what I did here. Is I did 135 pounds for 5 reps, and then I jumped to my work weight, which was the 175 pounds for 5 reps. So basically always do 5 reps on your warm-up weight. This will get you a little bit more practice to get your form right. And yeah, that was it here for the workout B. So as you can see, it took, what is it? It took something like 25 minutes workout A, I think, took something like not even 30 minutes. So not very hard, as you can see. And that was warm-up sets included. So it really takes, like, I'm not making this up when I'm saying that it takes less than 30 minutes 3 times a week. It really is 3 times a week for not even 30 minutes, at least during the first 8 weeks and stuff. Again, if this looked too easy, don't start adding exercises or use heavier weights than you're capable of. Remember that you are not supposed to get pumped and sore with this StrongLifts 5x5 workout. Your only goal is to get stronger, because more strength is more muscle. How do you get stronger? By increasing the weight that you're lifting by 5 pounds every workout. As you increase the workout, as you increase the weight, as you do more StrongLifts 5x5 workouts, the weight increases and it gets more and more challenging. The workouts get more and more challenging, and that's how your body grows stronger and more muscular. It grows stronger and more muscular as the weight on the bar increases. Sometimes you can have pumps, sometimes you can get sore, but that's not mandatory, that's not required at all. The only thing that matters is that you get stronger, and you do that by adding weight. So remember, start light and add weight. So that was it for this video. Remember to like this video and add it to your favorites so more guys find out about the StrongLifts 5x5 workout. And then post a comment or ask a question in the comment section, because I'll be using your feedback when I create other videos. And yeah, make sure that you subscribe to the StrongLifts 5x5 YouTube channel if you haven't yet, so you can get free video updates. More updates, more videos will come later. And what else is there to say? Oh yeah, if you have no idea what this whole StrongLifts 5x5 workout is about, go to stronglifts.com and download the free StrongLifts 5x5 report there, or just go take a look at the free StrongLifts 5x5 workout, because it's all available for free there. So that was it. Talk to you later. Bye bye.